After analyzing some operators' animation time for their basic attack string, I have come to some conclusions. The way HG balanced basic attacks at full masteries is that an operator would typically deal 100% modifiers per second, 5 stagger per second, gain 5 SP per second, and deal 900% modifier with their finishers. This slightly varies from operator to operator, but personally I think it is a good baseline. This begs the question, if every operator has more or less the same stats on their basic attacks, then what makes Ember stand out compared to the rest? The answer is quite simple. Animation cancel and the existence of Sundered prints. Normally, Ember uses 319 frames to perform a full basic attack string. Side note, we will be using 60 frames per second as measurement. This gives her 101.3% modifiers per second, 4.7 stagger per second, and 5 SP per second. Quite in line with the baseline HG seems to have implemented. Now this is where animation cancel comes in. Before you make any assumption, no, animation cancel is typically not worth it for the majority of operators, so please stop getting baited by certain YouTubers. Only a few can gain a significant performance boost with it. Ember's third strike and final strike has the longest attack animation out of Ember's basic attacks. Both attacks can get a noticeable cut in animation time by doing dodge cancels. Don't worry, I will include stats if you only want to do final strike cancels. So here is Ember's basic attack data. As mentioned earlier, without doing any animation cancel, Ember's basic attack string takes 319 frames to perform. Canceling the final strike takes 277 frames. Canceling both third and final strike takes 258 frames. Just by looking at the frame differences, we can already calculate the whole difference on DPS, stagger per second, and SP gain per second. Doing 2 animation cancels improves Ember's performance by 23.6%, while doing 1 animation cancel improves her performance by 15.2%. Since people say Chen has a fast basic attack string, we will use her for comparison. Without animation cancels, Chen uses 205 frames to perform a full basic attack string. With an animation cancel on the final strike, she uses 191 frames. That is an overall 7.3% performance improvement. On a side note, this is why I said earlier that typically, animation canceling isn't worth it. Here's the full table. Ember doing animation cancels can have up to 25.9% more modifiers per second than Chen, up to 15.7% more stagger per second, and up to 13.2% more SP regen. In conclusion, Ember is one of the best, if not the best, controlled operator in the game. Giving her Sundered prints further solidifies this position. Because of Ember's kit, she is forced to do basic attacks 99% of the time, and as a controlled operator, she will be the one doing the finishers. This automatically means she is one of the best candidates to get full masteries on basic attack. I've seen people downplaying the damage of Ember's basic attacks, not realizing that it could easily add up. If she can average 80 to 100k damage on every basic attack string, that means she already dealt a total of 400 to 500k damage with just 5 full strings. The passive effect of Sundered prints is very powerful for a controlled operator. Even at P0, it already provides 32% attack increase and 19.2% final strike stagger increase. Some would argue that the critical chance increase is underwhelming. We can just look at it from a different angle. For example, a 10% susceptibility debuff sounds strong. After all, even though it's just 10%, it is a rare damage amplifier. The thing is, 19.4% critical chance is the same. Technically, it provides a 9.7% overall DPS increase. Critical chance in this game is a rare multiplier after all, just like susceptibility. Although I would argue that Sundered Prince's critical chance increase is specifically made for random critical finishers. And speaking of finishers, this will be Ember's biggest strength. I'm sure you're aware that all it takes to do finishers is to press left click once the enemy is staggered. All she wants is a bit of help from teammates. No need for a bunch of ultimates to be prepared. No need for grand preparations or whatsoever. She does not demand for buff or debuff slaves. Just press left click. Another thing that most people overlook is the SP recovery from finishers. By creating a team that can stagger extremely fast, you are also generating SP faster through finishers. A single finisher on a named boss recovers a full SP bar. Keeping the boss staggered also means you are improving the team's survivability, giving everyone more DPS windows, dealing significantly more damage through stagger bonus, and preventing bosses from performing special attacks. There are just so many benefits from simply building around Ember's finisher. Speaking of building around Ember, let's talk about my two favorite goobers to pair with her. That is Chen and Endman. Chen and Endman both use the same main and secondary stats. The stats make them a perfect fit for the Swordmancer set, a set that is specialized at staggering enemies. Coincidentally, Chen and Endman have the same base cooldown for their combo skill, which is 16 seconds. This makes them consistent at chaining their combos and at the same time triggering the effect of the Swordmancer set. For the 4th gear slot, both can use the Ethertech gloves for more arts intensity. It improves both the damage and stagger of Chen's lifts, while it improves the crush damage of Endman. Speaking of Endman's crush, it can only be triggered by their skill, and by utilizing it with her combo skill, you will trigger her first potential's effect, which refunds 50 SP. That's 50 SP every 16 seconds, which is really powerful. On top of that, Endman will provide the team with a 15% attack buff. So personally, I would suggest using these two with Ember over anyone else. The last slot is very flexible. You don't necessarily need a Vanguard because finishers provide SP and Endman is technically a Vanguard themselves. I do have some suggestions. First would be Pogranichnik. He can provide a couple of buffs for the team while providing more SP as a Vanguard. His Fervent Morale buff provides attack and arts intensity increase. His signature or Thermite Cutter could either provide physical damage increase or more attack increase. Finally, he can use the Frontiers set to line up his combo skill cooldown with Chen and Endman, while also providing a small damage increase through the set effect. Next is Perlika. Perlika's signature 5-star weapon can provide up to 22.4% physical damage increase to the team. The trigger condition for Perlika's combo only requires a final strike, which allows her to fit into the team without any issue. Electrification alone is already a very strong amplifier for Perlika that allows her to land powerful single target bursts through her ultimate. Next is Alesh. Alesh has matching stats for the Frontier set, which means he can utilize the set without losing a lot of damage, unlike someone like Pogranichnik. However, when it comes to weapons, Alesh's signature 5-star doesn't work well with himself and Ember's team, so he would want something like Thermite Cutter. You can also give him Fortmaker to improve his intelligence stat to trigger more rare fins. Fortmaker also has ultimate efficiency stat, which leads to more ultimates. More ultimates means more SP and stagger. Alesh's combo skill can be easily triggered by Endman, and due to the low cooldown of Alesh's combo skill, Endman could prioritize getting full masteries on their combo skill, which allows the whole team to do 15-second rotations instead of 16. Next is Akakuri. Akakuri's combo skill can be triggered by White Stagger, and Ember's team is really good in that aspect. Aside from being one of the best SP generators in the game, Akakuri provides Link, which can allow Chen to reach insane numbers on her ultimate. That is all for team recommendation for now. I've yet to see whether Li Feng could actually fit into the team or not. I'll do an update video if I discover more Ember synergies. The combo sequence is pretty simple. Chen's battle skill to initiate. This gives Chen an attack increase from her passive. Immediately follow with Chen's combo skill into Endman's combo skill. In a team where the last teammate doesn't need to rotate their combo with Chen and Endman, you can let the Originium Crystal stay for a while. After all, the affected enemy has their physical damage taken increased. Then, use Endman's battle skill to shatter the crystal, trigger crush status, and refund 50 SP. Another important reason why it has to be Endman's skill is because she is wearing the Swordmancer set. Triggering crush will activate Swordmancer's set effect. In the case of Pogranichnik, you would want to trigger his combo skill as early as possible, which means you have no luxury on letting the Originium Crystal stay for longer. Like I mentioned earlier, I even gave him the Frontier set just to have his cooldown line up with Chen and Endman. Any excess SP bar should be used by Chen to keep her attack increase stacks going. Now that we know what Ember does and what team is great with her, let's talk about min-maxing her weapon and gears. As mentioned earlier, the ideal weapon for Ember would be Sundered Prince. The weapon doesn't require Ember to use either her battle skill or ultimate just to gain the passive effect. In Endfield, attack percent boosts are strong, and Sundered Prince gives a whopping 32% attack increase even at P0. Most importantly, it gives her increased final strike stagger, which is her main source of stagger. The only alternative is Exemplar, but it is significantly weaker compared to Sundered Prince. While its second stat provides attack, which is neat, the passive effect gives physical damage increase, which Ember prefers avoiding. However, what makes it truly hard to use is the fact that it requires Ember to use her battle skill or ultimate to trigger its passive. Personally, I prefer giving Ember the Yinglung set and a Swordmancer gloves for the 4th slot. There's 0 wasted stats, and it will put Ember to almost 100% physical damage bonus once fully artificed. That basically means she is doing double damage at minimum. The set effect provides a 15% attack increase, which is great because Ember needs a ton of attack percent sources to balance it with her massive physical damage increase. You can also try combining the Swordmancer set with Ethertech plating for the 4th slot. This allows Ember to deal more stagger through both set effects. Additionally, Ethertech plating has a very powerful stat to significantly improve the damage of Ember's finishers. The downside, however, is that you lose the permanent 15% attack increase, and the kit pair doesn't fully match Ember's stats. Also, the second effect of Swordmancer is hard to trigger with Ember, since it would require you to use Ember's skill, or have Ember get hit to trigger her combo skill. There is also a limit to how much stagger you actually need. When the boss is almost permanently staggered, there's 0 reason to improve Ember's stagger. She will get more stagger eventually with more potentials on Sundered Prince. Although using the Swordmancer set with Ethertech plating is preferred if you only have Exemplar for Ember. Finally, here are some random tips when playing Ember. As shown earlier, Ember can deal 116 to 125% modifiers per second, which means that as long as you're performing basic attacks non-stop, it would outdamage both her battle skill and combo skill. The only time you want Ember to get hit is if the incoming attack doesn't knock her away. Getting knocked back just to trigger her passive and combo skill is not worth it. It simply wastes too much time. The ideal case scenario is for Ember to tank multi-hit attacks that don't cause her to flinch. This easily caps her passive to the maximum 27% attack increase. If you're feeling sweaty, you can try to do a frame-perfect combo skill as soon as Ember gets hit. She would still take damage, but she won't get knocked back or flinched. Ember has massive amounts of HP, so if you're still using meds that provide a fixed amount of healing, I suggest upgrading to Thorny Yagen powder. Ember's ultimate is not just for shielding. It also deals 25 stagger, which can be used to reach stagger breakpoints. For example, if the enemy is about to recover from a white stagger and you're just short on triggering the yellow stagger, it can be a good chance to use Ember's ultimate. In conclusion, Ember is a great operator with the correct build and a proper team. She will not replace anyone in the strongest physical teams, and since this is a game with timers, it will always be better to invest in a team with a higher DPS ceiling. At least, this is very true to the current version. However, Ember doesn't drag the team's DPS down to oblivion. I already showed this in my previous video where Ember as the core is still able to get all trimmed medals for all of version 1's bosses. And let's not forget that her clears were relatively fast, if compared to other showcase videos where only one core member is fully invested in. 0 duplicates. In a physical team where everyone is a DPS, the clear time would significantly improve once everyone is properly built. This is an important distinction since other core carries require buff and debuff slaves. Most of these supports don't deal much damage even with heavier investments. Last but not the least, people are forgetting that she still belongs to the Defender class. She can grant 50% damage reduction via protection buff. She can heal with her combo skill and provide emergency shields through her ultimate. In short, Ember is for those who want a more comfortable gameplay. Her support could prove useful, but obviously, that will all depend on what kind of future content HG implements. And that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you on the next one.